Oh no! I didn't know there was a huge drop. Ah. Oops. I'm so glad that I used the Spirit of Bonemaster to protect me there. Welcome back to Valheim. This is pretty much where it all started. It actually started for us playing on Doc Leech's own world, but then Ploppy decided to set up a dedicated server on a Raspberry Pi, and this is it. This server's been down for about a year because people weren't using it. He's recently restarted it, and I took the opportunity to have a look around what we'd built. So this building was the first one that we had with assorted beds and crafting stuff. As you can see, it looks like it's mostly been cleared out now as they've moved it into other places. We all used to have homes here, but then people have moved away and built their own structures in different places. But this is still here. And this is the building that I built. It was based on a kind of iceberg principle of having what looked like a little hut on top of a hill, and then various levels underneath it. I had to rebuild this completely because the first structure I built was smaller and rounder but just wasn't really working. But as you can see, I kept the same basic idea, so it's got 2 levels below, and when I expanded it and rebuilt it, I created 2 levels above. All the crafting bits and pieces down there, but pretty much everything is in this central room, including a nice little throne to sit and rest. And outside in the back there's a kiln and smelter and windmill. You can just about see some off through the window there. And the upstairs bit I made into a portal room. This is one of the first big structures that was built on the server by Skippy, and it's very impressive. It's called the Stave, and it's based upon an actual church. It just amazes me when people come up with this sort of building. When I go inside, you can see it ended up being used mostly as a portal hub to different people's other buildings and to other sites. And upstairs you've got portals to the various bosses, which you can just about make out up there. Moving out here to the west side of the sort of the gathering, you can see that there was this rock formation that Smoke decided to make into a dragon statue with quite fetching wings. And then further to the west you've got this base, which is actually Vino's base. Now I'm not sure if he created it from scratch or if it was originally something that Snowcow started making before Snowcow moved slightly further to the west to build his castle. Either way, it's huge, and I know that Vino's put a lot of time into this, or did do when he was on the server, and it's quite expansive. And this is the furthest northeast structure or base on the main landmass. This is Snowcow's castle. As you can see, it's quite impressive. The technique he's used by using wooden highlights on the towers and the stone structures is kind of straightforward, but actually it's very effective. Snowcow has built this using with the aid of various mods, because he likes his mods. He used to say there's a mod for that to practically everything people said about the game, but even bearing in mind that he's used some mods, the amount of work that it must have taken to do this is pretty staggering. At various halls and things here, and you can just see sort of the forethought that's gone into planning a lot of this. The courtyard, the structure of the outer walls and the towers and things like that. It takes a lot of planning and having an idea of what you want to do before you start. As far as I know, Snowcow is the only one of us who has basically kept to his original base and just expanded it rather than moving out to other areas around the map. Most other people ended up sort of building an initial home like this one that Smoke built, which is over to the eastern side of the main sort of town centre, if you can call it that. And then he expanded it later on by moving to a different landmass and then building up what he calls the Toft, which is his current main base. There's a couple of bases slightly further off. Lars joined us briefly and he started building a little house for himself, but I don't think he ever finished it. And this is the Toft. The thing that's quite impressive about this is it's actually on about 3 levels. This one here, which is a large impressive storeroom, is kind of the middle level. Actually no, that's the bottom level. And then you'll see this area that you may recall from the opening clip. When I first filmed this, I was using just OBS, and unfortunately the sound kept cutting out, so I had to ditch it and record it again. But at the time I was in his base, there was a skeleton raid, and yes, that didn't go too well. So this is the top level of the base that leads out onto a small port area. And if you go into the building here, you've got little bits of crafting and then bed areas. It goes down to this area here where he's got his bedroom and the main sort of living area. It's a lot of arrows. So this is actually Skippy's new base, which I think I can't remember what the word he called it in Norwegian is, but it's leaning tree. And again, he just seems to have a knack for various architectural things. The main thing that really impressed me about this base was the way in the main building he built the chimney up into the roof, effectively, rather than having a separate chimney stack. The smoke just flows up to some wooden structures that run along underneath the roof in the centre, as you can see here, where the smoke comes out there, and then it just comes out either side of the building, which I've copied in my seed world. This is one of Ploppy's bases. I think this is a more recent base that he built. It's more like an outpost. His main base is a hill fort on one of the land masses to the northwest of where the town is. I seem to recall that we have stopped here a couple of times on sea voyages to other parts of the map. And this is Ember's Castle, which is actually to the south of the landmass that we have our main town on. It's again, it's an incredible feat of workmanship. the amount of levelling that's gone into this and the size of it, the sheer scale of it is very impressive. Obviously a very keen gardener there. So all of that has been flattened. This is the only building, unfortunately, that I can go into, the docks, because all of the others are guarded by wards. So I couldn't go into the actual main living area. And I thought I'd just show you the map. So yeah, that's where the base is, and it's right at the south of this main sort of area, and then this is the town where most of the rest of us started. This starting continent is actually pretty huge, because even though the main part of it is the area that I've shown you, it actually goes down, it's connected to a huge amount of landmass that goes quite a long way down, so it's very difficult to sail a long ship through. And part of our explorations of this world went down to the ashlands in the south, so I thought I'd just show you a quick bit of that, because I love the colour scheme and the aesthetics here. It's not a biome that's been populated yet, so it's just got a few placeholder things, including surtlings. Quite a useful place to go if you want to farm for surtling cores. We've done a fair amount of exploration of this seed world. Skippy has done the most because he decided to take it upon himself to explore pretty much everywhere, even going over the edge of the world. And this is my most recent base that I created. I called this Oakheart or something like that, and when I first saw the portal I couldn't remember what it was. But it was named just because there's an oak tree at the top of this sort of slope, and I decided to make a base. It's nowhere near as impressive as Smoke's, but it's on a couple of levels, and you've got the crafting area below and then the hallway here. And then a path leading up to the back and a nice sort of natural garden area. This particular island has got that mountain area just up there is very small. Most of the island, as you can possibly just about make out on the mini-map, is plains. And it's actually to the north of the world. And it's not that far from one of the sites where Yagluth is, which is actually just to the east, an island to the east of here. I have built various structures at different places in the island just because as you expand out you want a nice base that you don't have to sail too far to get to in case anything goes horrendously wrong. And this is the most recent one that I built. I've got a few others, and the second one that I built was called Coast, which I haven't shown in this video, but it's basically just a hall with a trophy collection in and gardens and things. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was nice to come back to this server, and I'll see you again next time.